Hi, I'm John Paul and a really warm welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking all about YouTube. Somebody contacted me via LinkedIn. It was another therapist saying about monetizing a YouTube channel, how you go about doing that. So I've got some ideas on that and I'm going to make that the focus of today's video, just to give 3 or 4 key ideas which I think are the things that have really meant for the growth of the channel watch hours, which has enabled monetization. What I'm going to do as well in a follow-up video to this is talk about the kind of benefits, the significant benefits of being a therapist on YouTube, but also some of the challenges as well. Just going back to monetization then, as I say, I'm going to look at 3 key areas. It's going to be around the kind of packaging of the video. Then I'm going to talk about the content itself. And then I'm going to talk about the issue of kind of community and what I would say is care too. Only between, I think, 2 and 4%, depending on what I've seen, of people monetize YouTube channels. So it is something that can take a while to do. It can be something that's quite difficult to do, but there are definitely things that I think can speed up that process. Some of those things I was doing from the beginning, I think. Some of those things I started to do part the way through, so I can see the difference certain things have on the kind of watch time and subscriber growth on the channel. And there are certain things which I could always have done and could do now, which I wouldn't for various reasons. So I might mention a couple of those too. As ever, I'd love to hear from you. If you have any comments on this, any other questions, please do post below the video and I shall come back to any questions that you might have. If you do find it helpful, please do give it a like. That would be great. I'd really appreciate it. Share it, of course, with anybody who you think would find it helpful too. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I always have to say this, but please do that too. That would be great. Okay, so monetizing a YouTube channel. In order to do that, I don't know whether you know, but you need 1,000 subscribers and watch time of at least 4,000 watch hours. And that watch time is over a period of 365 days. So it's not a total for the channel ever. It's over a kind of rolling period of 365 days. And it's often for people, the subscriber count is something that people often are able to meet. It's the watch time that can be the difficult thing. So it's getting people to come and watch the videos, or rather YouTube and the algorithm will do that. As long as you do certain things, I think. And then it's also, of course, people continuing to watch when they come through. So as I say, I'm going to look at the packaging, the video itself, and also that wider issue of kind of community. So just going to the packaging, what I mean by that is the thumbnail and the title of the video, and then also the description of the video as well. And a lot of people, of course, will focus on the video itself, spend a lot of time writing the video, thinking about the video. And I think that is the thing. If somebody's coming through to watch it, that will be the thing that, of course, gets the watch hours to add up, that you're meeting the need that somebody's looking for, things like, within the first 30 seconds, letting people know what the video is going to do, and then trying to keep the video engaging and answer the kind of questions. If you're looking at how-to video, making sure that the video actually does that with sustained energy throughout. So a lot of people do focus on the video from that point of view, but I think nobody's going to get through to the video in the competitive environment that somebody's YouTube homepage is going to look like, unless the packaging, which, as I say, is the thumbnail, the title, and then one layer in, I suppose, the description of the video, unless those things draw people in. I mean, there are some people who come up with the title and they come up with the thumbnail and then they write their video to that. So it's that important as far as getting people to come through. So from a thumbnail point of view, it's got to be something that is striking for people. I will put up on the page an old thumbnail which I used for a video, the typical thing which I started with. I'm not sure where it will come up on the page, but you'll see that it was quite dark. The writing wasn't that easy to read. I then, midway through last year, retooled thumbnails, and I could see that the click-through rate, so the percentage of people that would click on that thumbnail, doubled in the case of some videos. So I'm going to put an example of a new thumbnail, which I put up. It's the one about should you become a therapist. In that case, the click-through rate for that video, I think, doubled by changing the thumbnail. Of course, you can see that on it, there is an emoji. And I'll come on to this when I'm looking at the kind of benefits and challenges of YouTube as well. Now, for thumbnails, there is very much a suggestion that you put lots of dramatic facial expressions and that kind of thing. And I absolutely get it from the point of view of somebody looking through the video videos that a dramatic facial expression or something is really going to draw their attention. But there is very much this thing with YouTube, and I think particularly as a therapist on YouTube, is thinking about also my private practice and my clients and the fact I am a therapist. And again, I will talk about that in the next video, which I do. But just to summarize, with thumbnails, they are very important. I would really think about them. I wouldn't necessarily treat them as just a kind of peripheral thing. They are important from the point of view of getting people to click on your video. Similarly, the description as well. Again, it's one of those things that it tends to be a more kind of dramatic description that is going to get somebody to click on it. You have your own taste there. We don't want to be coming away from our own sort of authentic taste in things. I have moved a little bit as far as the thumbnails which I'll put up, the descriptions and titles which I'll put up in order to improve the click-through rate, because if it's not what it could be, the videos don't get watched. So all the work that goes into the videos just doesn't have much benefit. So the title, making sure that it's going to be something that draws people's attention, and then also the description. Again, description-wise, it wasn't really something I put much effort into at all. The effort I would have put in would be to writing the video, recording the video, and then editing the video, and that process could be hours. So I didn't really put much into how to describe the video. From that point of view, you may love to do that. If that's something you're going to do, you might like to write, you might love to summarize your videos. It was something that would take a lot of time for me, and there is software out there which I now use, which is AI software, and you put the link to the video in and it will provide a very detailed description of everything that's in the video in a very clear way. There's also other software which can make it more interesting, more exciting, more professional. Again, using AI, I'm sure you're familiar with these kind of software in other environments, maybe even in this environment. Again, look, some people want to keep it congruent, authentic, write it the way they want to write it, express it the way they want to. And I would never put something up just because AI wrote it, and I would always, change things and adapt it to make sure it sounds the way I would like it to sound. But what I'm saying is that I think descriptions are important. I think titles are important, and there is software out there that can suggest a kind of dramatic title, and then you choose whether you put that up or not. There is software, as I say, that will write the description for you, and then you can choose whether you add various bits. And this goes to as well, having help from AI and that kind of thing. For me, it goes to being able to be consistent with posting videos. I'm going to come to this next when I talk about the content. Is one of the key things about the content, and from YouTube's point of view, and it's from what I can see is pushed in a lot of different environments, is they want regular content. And it's not just that because there's more content, you'll get more watch hours. My sense is that if you provide regular content, YouTube, the algorithm also seems to take your channel more seriously as well. But I'm going to come on to that in a minute. Just to finish off on the packaging as well, search engine optimization. There are tags that are in the description of the videos, and I do think they help from the point of view of the algorithm being able to know what your video is about. Again, there is software that if you put your description into it, the video description that you've perhaps even produced through another piece of software, it will suggest tags. So all of those things are out there to help you as well. But as I say, search engine optimization, the tags, the way that something is phrased, the descriptions to draw people in, the title to be something that's going to pique people's interest, and as I say, the image itself, I think they're all really important. And that's definitely borne out by the fact that when I started to change those things and put more work into them, then I can see that the channel did grow from much more from that point. Okay, so then moving to content. So the video itself, there's something that people think about a lot, which is the kind of what they're going to do their content about. I mean, if you're coming in as a therapist, the likelihood is it's going to be about kind of mental health and those kind of issues. YouTube very much likes a niche, and of course a niche that it doesn't have that much content for. So I can see this through the process that what I would have been through. How the channel started was years ago I had my book trailer on the YouTube channel, and I didn't do anything after that for a long period of time. Then I was getting, because I was doing a bit of some kind of press and that kind of thing around the book, some people started to ask me, trainee therapists, about the different ways to get into the career. So I did a video on how to become a therapist, and I put that on the YouTube channel. And then that was content that just wasn't that much around on YouTube. So of course the algorithm then provides that to people. It started to get watched more. I saw that. I asked UKCP, our regulating body, to put it on their website, or suggested that they do, which they did. They embedded it there, and therefore I also got views coming through an important website, UKCP's website, through to the YouTube channel, and it grew from there really. Because that started to grow, I put content about being a therapist and becoming a therapist. Why would you become a therapist? The benefits of it, the challenges of it, and you could see that that was kind of the niche in some ways. It was a niche that came from other people asking me to do that, but of course I was also very interested in the subject. I love being a therapist. I love talking to people about it. As many people that want to come and be therapists, I'd like to, talk to them about it and let them know what I know about the career. So it very much was a sort of started really being outward in, but was something I was very interested in. From that point, I then added content about various different aspects of mental health. So could be overcoming imposter syndrome, narcissism, trauma, relationship red flags, sexuality, so of various different subjects. And I did that in response to the fact I was contributing to various different articles. And of course, the great thing about that is you can then start to see as well, they're all subjects that I'm very interested in, but you can then start to see as well what YouTube makes of it and what the algorithm makes of it. And what it did very much was pull the videos about bisexuality and send them out. So they now constitute about half of the views and watch time on my channel. That wasn't the intention when I was putting them out, but I'm very happy to be talking about that. And of course, from the point of view of that content, that YouTube likes it, the algorithm likes it, because people want to see that content, because there's not that much content in relation to bisexuality here. There's a lot on imposter syndrome, there'll be a lot on trauma, there'll be a lot on narcissism. So it's kind of looking for that thing which I think you're interested in, and also YouTube has people that needs that and wants that content. So, there are these two principles of being an architect as far as your content, and also being an archaeologist as far as your content. Architect will come in thinking, this is the channel I want to produce, and then produce content and see how it goes. And they will keep to that kind of structure. An archaeologist, the approach would be, I suppose, to do various different areas and then see what YouTube makes of it. When I say YouTube and the algorithm, I mean, of course, that's viewers and people watching. And then you can follow that, once your niche is there. The only thing that I would say about that is, if the thing that gets pulled by YouTube into a very successful video for your channel, that is where you're going to be driven to go if you want to continue to build the channel. And of course, people start to subscribe based on that subject. So if you then start to talk about other subjects, you may be in a situation where people start to unsubscribe, or certainly they don't watch the videos, because that's not what they're coming to your channel for. So it's a difficult one. Do you keep it more general? Do you keep it more niche? For me, it's all around mental health. It's all around being a therapist. It's all around becoming a therapist. But as I say, there are these other subjects too, which again are all under the umbrella of mental health, and they seem to coexist. But definitely, I can see that if you find a niche, quite a specific niche, say even within mental health, that YouTube really likes, that the content isn't necessarily there, you could really grow a channel very quickly. I probably, maybe, have slowed down the growth of the channel, and perhaps even continue to do that in terms of watch time and subscribers, by focusing on a number of different areas. Because as I say, somebody who comes subscribe for career channel may unsubscribe if they see repeated videos about trauma or bisexuality. Somebody, and plenty of people did, who subscribe about bisexuality may have very little interest in career change. Anyway, I still continue to do that. And that really goes to the next point, which is about consistency. In order for the channel to grow, you really have to be consistent and be producing content, I think. And that's why I always want to make sure that I'm really interested in the subjects that I'm produce content on. And I think the difficulty can be if YouTube pulls you into a niche, or the algorithm pulls you into a niche, and that's what you're pursuing, then you could be making repeated content about something that's only potentially mildly interesting to you. And if you're going to be consistent over time and make this something that you're going to nurture and grow, then I think it's something that you have to have, levels of interest in, sort of intrinsic interest, not just trying to please a sort of external environment or YouTube's algorithm. And there's also, of course, there is the certainty if YouTube likes a particular type of content, that it pushes it out, and therefore your channel grows on the back of that niche of content. It's also very unpredictable, or can be, in terms of what is going to be the thing that goes out there. I can see that there are very significant increases in watches for things like the video on bisexuality at the beginning of the year, for example, or if somebody like Shawn Mendes comes out as bisexual, then suddenly there's a significant increase. So it's really interesting to watch over time as well. If you look at the analytics, how with all the best will in the world, if you're focusing on subjects that you can see with the watch hours, with the time, are interesting and in demand, there's also an amount of it which is unpredictable, because it's not just about what's interesting to the other people and to the world at particular times, and as news changes and as stories come out as well. There's also what about the other content that YouTube has. That's a significant factor, as I say, in terms of, say, imposter syndrome, I'm sure trauma, I'm sure narcissism. There's so much content out there that for a smaller channel, it's quite difficult to grow in those kind of environments. So there's all these things to be thinking about. As I say, from my point of view, I'm able to keep producing videos on all of the things that I'm interested in, despite the fact that's not a particularly narrow niche, but the channel still grows. So on that, I have mentioned it a couple of times, the kind of consistency of posting, I think, is really important if you're looking at content. As I've already said, I don't think it's just that if you post more videos, there'll be more watch hours. It's that I think YouTube rewards people that post regularly, say every week, every 2 weeks, something like that. I did have somebody look at the analytics, because I don't look very much at the analytics, apart from the sort of headline figures of subscribers, watch hours, that kind of thing. But somebody looked at the analytics, the growth of the channel over the course of last year. And they did say that when I was posting more regularly, the channel and visitors and viewers to the channel increased, which I think must have meant that the algorithm that YouTube was putting more videos out to more people. And this does go back to the point that if you are going to be consistent, then I do think you need to be interested in the subject that you're talking about. So I think that's really important to bear in mind, to balance that with what the algorithm is going to be encouraging you to do, and hopefully those two things align. Just wanted to say something as far as the videos as well, the kind of quality of the video. A lot of people, when they're starting out and starting to record, expect it to be perfect, write things in lots of detail and really want it to be perfect. And it may stop them putting something up because they don't believe it is perfect, in inverted commas. I think the thing with all this, isn't it, is it is quite a subjective experience, whether someone is a good presenter or not, whether someone is interesting or not. It depends on the subject that somebody's listening to. So I think, make it the best that you can, but I wouldn't let kind of perfectionism, I would say, stop you producing content. I mean, if you look at people when they started years ago, and they still have some of those videos up, the way that they present something is very different to what they would be doing now. So it is just practice. The more you do it, the better it gets as far as how you present something. And it may still not be to somebody's taste, even if you've been doing it for 20 years. So from that point of view, I would prepare it the best that you can, but also don't expect to be perfect as well, because also you, of course, edit videos, and you can edit bits and ums and ahs and all those kind of things out too. The kind of production value side of things, if you love doing the kind of creative, the edits, the text, the images and those kind of things, then I think great. They really help with people watching and people maintaining attention throughout. I've done some of that. I did get somebody to help edit the videos last year. I haven't really looked to see the impact that made on the amount of time somebody watched. My sense would be that if somebody was interested in the subject, they would have continued to watch. If they liked the kind of the way it was talked about, then they would have continued to watch. I don't think it would have put them off that there wasn't text in it or there weren't images in it. Having said that, we all like to look at something, if you're trying to sustain people's interests over a period of time, something that's more interesting visually, I think is a helpful thing. So if that is something that you do and enjoy, then I would suggest that you do that. It's not something that I've done a huge amount, although if I was to put and invest more in the YouTube channel, I think it would be in the kind of edits and the more production side of things. I record everything on my phone. I still do. I used to have a microphone. I don't really use that. You might say I should, but the only thing I would have is a ring light. So there isn't a lot that needs to go into the production of it in terms of cameras and that kind of thing. Of course, some people do that. It enhances, it helps. But I think if somebody's interested in the content of what you're providing, then those things are more things that are peripheral around the edges, I would say. And the last thing I wanted to say, as far as content, is just to add something on about shorts. YouTube shorts brought in, I think, to compete with kind of TikTok, Instagram's Reels, and YouTube really likes shorts. From what I can see, they really encourage people to produce shorts. And the great thing about this, if you're producing long form video, why not take shorts out and put them up too occasionally? Again, when that guy was looking at my channel and when things grew and when more subscribers came through and watch hours went up, it was because when I was regularly posting shorts, I did do it sort of 3 or 4 days a week, middle of last year, and it did have an impact on bringing people to the channel. So I do try and put shorts up. Certainly whenever I put up a video, I would always put up a couple of shorts, and I do think they really help with the growth of the channel. It's not complicated to do it. Of course, there'll be people out there that are producing and editing their own shorts because that's what they want to do. Again, there is AI software that if you put the link to your YouTube video in an hour-long video, which some of mine are, it will produce 10 shorts, 10, 45, 50-second shorts for you. And I don't know how it does it. If there's anybody out there who can explain it, how AI does this, but it does seem to be able to choose those moments that if I was to look back over the video and think, oh, I'd like to put that into a short, it does seem to be able to choose those moments. You know those bits when somebody says something in the context of talking about their therapy career, about how much they love it or enjoy it or the way it's benefited their lives. Those things in my videos would usually sit at the end of that video. AI somehow, and as I say, if you can tell me how it does it, I'd appreciate it. We'll find that and clip it together. We'll edit little bits out and produce a short. You can then edit the short, make sure the subtitles are okay, put subtitles on it for you, and those kind of things. So it doesn't have to be a complicated process doing the shorts. Now, I'm not in any way suggesting that if people want to be creative, that's the great thing about YouTube, isn't it? Is the potential for creativity there. The only thing that I would say about spending lots of time editing videos, spending lots of time on production, spending lots of time on shorts and editing them myself, for me personally, this needs to fit in YouTube with my private practice. I still see a significant number of clients a week. And if I'm having to spend hours and hours and hours editing things and doing that myself, then I don't think those two things will work as well together. So that's one of the reasons. I'm just saying that it is an alternative. It is an option to also have the assistance of software that's going to help this process be much smoother and much quicker. And then community and care, the third point. As far as community, on any social media, you will have been told, if you're on social media posting regularly, that when people comment, you need to comment back. You need to reply, have that engagement. All of these platforms, want to keep people on the platform, want to keep people coming back to the platforms. That kind of engagement, creating that kind of community is very much encouraged across all social media platforms. So certainly, engaging with people, with you, was something that I did right at the beginning. But being absolutely honest, it was absolutely not because somebody said to me, well, you have to reply to everyone on social media or like everybody's comments. One of the main reasons why I do this and have this channel and have continued to do it is because of the people, people that like things, and particularly people that comment on it and share it, and give me feedback and give me suggested titles for more videos. I've met some lovely people through this. There are people that you may know that have come on the channel and talked about their careers, and there'll be people that will be coming on it in the future too. So for me, in order for me to keep coming back onto producing videos and that kind of thing, it's the sense of community, it's you, it's subscribers, it's the feedback I get, as I say, the lovely people that I've met and I'm sure will continue to meet. That is the main reason why I would keep coming back. I mean, there have been times in the past over the last couple of years, which is about the period I've been regularly producing videos, where I've thought, oh, I mean, I probably would have carried on doing it because I'm sort of a bit relentless in that way. But it's definitely, if I've lost any kind of hope at some point or felt a bit disillusioned, or I got to record a video, there's always been, without fail, someone has written a comment. Somebody said something, whether it's below a short, whether it's below something about career change, across the board with videos, somebody has said something which has meant this is the reason that I want to do it, so that it helps the growth of the channel is a more peripheral thing for me. One of the primary reasons I do this, I'm going to talk about this much more in the video that I do about the kind of benefits of YouTube, and then also the challenges will be about, you know, the people that I've met on here. It is relationships. For me, it is a relationship. As I've said, the lovely people that I've met that have even come on the channel. And also, you know, in a funny kind of way, there is very little that increases, in my experience, my trust of self and the world than getting a sort of kind, interested comment from somebody, when it's just a comment and it's just username something, where I've got no idea who they are, what they look like, what they sound like, what their name is, what job they do, where they are in the world. There is very little which is more connecting for me with myself and the world than receiving those kind of comments. I will never know what they look like. I'll probably never see them. But what's happened is, on some level, what the content has connected with them. And for me, that's very much something that feels good about YouTube, and it's very much the thing, one of the primary reasons that keeps me producing content. So as I say, I'm going to talk about that kind of thing a lot more in this follow-up video about being on the platform and why I continue to do that. But I hope that's been helpful and interesting. There's lots more I could talk about. As I say, I do one-to-ones with people. If you do thinking about developing a channel or just want to talk about any of this, then do contact me and we can set up sort of one-to-one appointments as well. To do that, as I've already said, please do give it a like if you find it helpful. Please do share if you think somebody else would find it helpful, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you again soon.